Hi, welcome. This is Engage in New York, Module 4, Lesson 15. Read the objective while I read it out loud. I can multiply non-unit fractions by non-unit fractions. So we're going back to non-unit fraction by non-unit fraction. But before we get started, let's go to some fluency. Our first fluency activity is going to review Lesson 13. So we're going back to 1/2 of 1/3. Now, I know you can simply multiply this out, but the objective of this little activity is to actually draw it out. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead, take on those 5 problems, just draw me a small rectangular fraction area model to illustrate this multiplication. Okay, go ahead and then come on back. All right, so how did you do? Did you get 1/6, 1/4, 3/5, 1/9, and 3/35? Now, here is our rectangular fraction model. This one is a little different because this was 6/5. So it's 1 whole plus 1 more, and I kind of ran out of room, so I just showed 1/5 here. So if you count it up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths, and which reduces down or simplifies to 3/5. All right, so the next part of our fluency here today is going to prep us for lessons 17 and 18. So this is kind of a little introduction to writing fractions as decimals. Yes, we are going back to decimals. Remember, fractions are decimals. Decimals are fractions are also division problems, and they're also percentages. So we're going to write fractions as decimals. So 1/10, what is 1/10? What does 1/10 look like as a decimal? It's 0.1, right? So 2/10, 0.2, 3/10, 0.3, 9/10, 0.9, 6/10, 0.6. Remember that? Okay, now 1/100th is 0.1. So 1/100th, it's 0.01. 0.01 because it's in the 100th spot, right? So what I want you to do is go ahead and finish this out, this row out. Then I want you to come down here and put these into a fraction. So complete that really quick. See if you have what your memory's like when we're going back to decimals, and come back and check to see how you did. All right, let's check your work. So 0.01, 0.02, 0.08, because 8 is in the 100th spot, right? 0.09, 0.53, so 53 hundredths, right? Now, let's put that into a fraction. So it's all in the 100th spot, so it's 100th, 200th, 900th, 1300th, 37 hundredths, 16 hundredths. All right. Next, we're going to convert. So this is also prepping us for lessons 17 and 18. So this little fluency practice here is a little hint of where we're going. Now, my hint for you is what times 5 is equal to 100. So we're going to hundredths, right? So everything is going to be, you have to multiply to find 100th. So 5 times what equals 100? Well, 5 times 20, right? So whatever you do on the bottom, you have to do on the top. So 20, and what does that equal? It's 20 hundredths. So 0.02, because it has to be in the hundredths. The 2 has to sit in the 100th spot. So that's what we're doing here. each one, I'm going to do a couple more and then I'm going to have you try a few independently. All right, so let's go to 1/4 and I want to have this over 100th. 100. So what do I have to multiply 4 by to get 100? Well, 25, right? Whatever you do the bottom, you do the top. Also, too, this becomes 20%. This is like 25%. So it's also, if you start incorporating it into percentages. So let's go here. Oh, I forgot to put this in a decimal. So 0.25. So now I'm back at 5. I want to go, we're converting to hundreds. So we're going to 100, 5 times 20, right? 2 times 20, 40 hundredths. What does that look like as a decimal? 0.04, right? All right, now let's try 3/4. Again, we're converting to hundredths. So 4 times what? 25. What we do at the bottom, we do at the top. 75 hundredths becomes 0.75, which is also 75%. All right, I'm going to have you do the next 4, see how you do, and come back and check your work. All right, so did you get 80 over 100? And then did you get 0.808 hundredths? 80 hundredths. All right, then 1/25 for 100ths is 0.04, right? And then 1/50th is 1 over 100, which is 0.02. And then 2 over 25 becomes 8 over 100 is 0.08. All right. Can you take on? So now hopefully you're catching on here. So you're always trying to, because we're converting to hundreds, you have to figure out what you need to multiply by in order to get that hundreds. And then you're putting that in a decimal. Okay, go ahead, try it out. All right, did you get 18 over 100? 0.18. 22 over 100, 0.22. 28 over 100, 0.28. And 48 over 100, 0.48. Remember, going back to what you know, here's the tenths, here's the hundredths, right? All right, so our last part of our fluency is an application problem. Now, this application problem is going to be a little sneaky. So I'm going to help you start it off. So Kendra spent 1/3 of her allowance on a book and 2/5 on a snack. If she had $4 remaining after purchasing a book and a snack, what was the total allowance? Okay, so I'm going to help you set this up to help you understand this. I'm drawing my tape diagram a little bit small, I think. So I'm going to take 1/3 and I'm going to take 2/5. And because technically they're not on the same number line, right? We're not taking 1/3 of 2/5. We're taking 1/3 and 2/5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change 1/3 and 2/5. And I'm going to make sure they have common denominators so that I can put them in the same boxes, essentially. Okay. So this becomes 5/15 plus 6/15. Okay, so now we know that this is broken up into 15ths. So we know that Kendra spent 1/3 of her allowance on a book, and 1/3 of her allowance is 5/15, and 2/5 on a snack. So she then spent 6/15 on a snack. Okay, so let's draw that out. Now, I'm going to It's going to be hard to make 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to go this way. 13, 14, 15. Okay. So now let's label this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was spent 5/15 was spent on a book, right? Now 2/5, which becomes 6/15 on a snack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/15 on a snack. Okay, so now she has spent 5 plus 6/15, which gives us 11/15, right? So she has spent 11/15 on a book and snack. So what do we have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4/15 left, right? So there are 4/15 left over. All right, so if she had $4 remaining, so this is now $4 remaining after purchasing the book and the snack, what was the total of her allowance? So if this is $4, what was her allowance? So let's take, okay, hopefully you're following along and I'm not moving too fast for you. So do you see how I took those two fractions that weren't technically in the same tape diagram or on the same number line? It would have been really hard to try to break up this tape diagram into a third and then 2/5 on the same tape diagram. So just making them the same, it's so much easier to see, right? Okay, so now technically 4 divided by 4 gives us what? 1. So let me do it the mathematical way. 4 units is equal to 4. 1 unit is equal to $1. So I have to take that $1. $1 times 15 is $15. So Kendra's allowance is $15. So here's the answer. Kendra's allowance is $15. Okay, the trickiest part there was taking the fractions and trying to put them on the same number line. It makes things a whole lot easier and it's easier to see, right? So that 4 that was left over, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So if these are each 1, then the rest are all 1, right? Okay, that will do it for our fluency for Module 4, Lesson 15. Meet me back here for concept development, and we're going to go through some word problems, and that should do it. All right, meet me back here for concept development.